Whenever I say optimize, I took this like quote, or I took this definition from the dictionary. So you could really believe me. Optimizing is to make as perfect, effective, and functional as possible. And whenever I read that, I was like, yeah, of course. We all want our businesses to be as perfect, effective, and functional as possible. Meaning that getting to the stage of thinking about optimization is a really awesome place to be, because you're saying, I don't just have an idea that I just want to do and I just want to like put it out there, but I want it to be the best. And whenever I feel like I surround myself with entrepreneurs that are in that kind of headspace, you are the entrepreneurs that have a way better chance of being successful. Because guess what? There are a lot of different people that have a lot of different ideas too. And guess what? Maybe some of their ideas might be kind of similar to you. And if you're falling behind and not wanting your business to be as perfect, effective, or functional as it possibly can, then maybe you won't be as successful as you really want at the end of the day. Optimization within your business is a consistent effort. It's not one thing that we just put in place one time and we leave it and we run away. It's something that we have to continue to build. So if you put a 3 over here, right? I love that you showed up here today, because that means you always are looking on how you can improve. If you put a 2 here today, you're always looking for how you can improve. And if you put a 1, that means that you're showing up ready to be the best. So I'm really excited that you're here today, and I hope that this is making sense. So I want to tell you about 2 different ends of your business first as we dive in. So there's front end and there's back end. There's like some of front of house, back of house. Whenever we think of the 2 different ways that people interact with our business, we think of it in these 2 different ways. And we want them to both equally be optimized, right? So whenever you think of the front end, I've just put some examples here so you can try to understand what that means. This might be your website. So just like having a website, making sure it looks and it feels good, that whenever your clients land on it, that it feels really awesome and yummy. Maybe it's your storefront if you have a physical location. Maybe that's the place that people walk into their doors and you want that experience to be really awesome. This is kind of like your sales, your marketing, your PR, like outward in the world. If you're thinking of this as kind of like the front house and the back house, it's like the receptionist might be the front of house, and then you have like HR and bookkeeping that might be in the back of the house that never interact with your customers, but the people that do interact with your customers. Obviously, right, for web-based businesses and for even physical locations, there are a lot of back-end systems that we have to have in place too. Now, if you're a solopreneur on this call, or maybe you just have a small team, I think we can all probably shake our heads and say, we wear a ton of different hats, right? There's a lot of different systems that we feel like we have to have extreme knowledge in. We feel like there's a million different things going on at once, and we're just trying to get our hands on them. And this is what I see mostly in working with people, a lot of that back end stuff that feels kind of like, I don't know what to do with it. There's a lot of different things that I have to get my hands around, but to make sure that the front of the house runs smoothly and feels perfect. But maybe in the back of the house, we're running a little bit like chickens with our heads cut off, right? So all of these are like your maybe bookkeeping service. Maybe it's like your contracts and your proposals and your invoices and your project tracking so you can stay organized. Maybe it's understanding all the orders that are coming in and how we are shipping things out, right? So there's a lot of different things that go on the back end that your clients never really see, but it helps your business run smoothly. Is everybody kind of with me on that, understanding these 2 differences? And maybe you're starting to identify what these are for you. there's a lot of similarities whenever it comes to the front end and the back end in a lot of different businesses, but there definitely can vary. So if you're like sitting down right now and you're like, okay, like your head is spinning with all the different things, I think right now would be a really good time to maybe take out a piece of paper, open up a note section on your computer or on your phone, and start writing down what you feel like your front end like processes are. What are those like client interacting moments? And then what are all the back end systems that you're using right now to actually run your business? Okay. So as you write those down, I'm just going to kind of go into the chat box. I want to get to know everybody who is in here. So we have Laurence, a retail strategist based in France. So B2B, all my business needs automation, especially to follow up on leads. Awesome. Everybody, Amy is a happiness coach in LA. Oh, Amy, I love that so much. About streamlining so I can feel more productive without as much busy work. Ooh, I love that. It's about productivity versus busyness. That awareness is key. Great job. Andrea, a mindset and female embodiment coach, help women challenge their limiting beliefs and tap into their intuition and be their best self. Oh, wow. I feel like everybody should be connecting with everybody on this call. This is fabulous. Kelsey, continuous improvement always is so important. Absolutely. So excited to see you today. So Kelsey's business is Simplified Gifting. She helps business owners build a connection with their clients and employees by curating custom gifts. Go follow her on IG. Cecilia, founder of e-commerce startup, Celebrity Wines. Ooh, SoCal. All right, we got some wine lovers on here, I'm sure. Jessica, I run a digital marketing company that supports women, LGBTQ, and BIPOC owned businesses across social media, email marketing, blogging, websites, SEO, and more. Amazing. So you're probably thinking of so many different backend systems. Jessica, I'm sure you are. Maybe you can put some over in the chat. Jessica, owner and artist of Saint Mikel, I hope I'm saying that right, Beauty, a lash and brow, I don't know how to say that bar, I'm just going to say, and she's so happy to be here and meet everybody. So I'm so sorry if Michael, apologies. So excited to see everybody. I hope everybody connects here and connects in the portal beyond. All right, now that we've written down all of our front and back end systems, let's go ahead and dive in here. So I have this process that we really lay out as kind of lead generation, and what it goes from when your clients go from a stranger, from never have heard of your business ever before, to a champion of your brand. And in order to get them all the way to the champion stage, there's a lot of things that need to happen throughout in order for them to become a champion. And all of these things in between take a lot of time, energy, and effort for you. So you need to understand what it is on the front end and the back end of your business that might be what I like to call the kink in the hose, from getting you to that champion stage, to where they are out there in the world, loving you, loving your business, and telling everybody, and from their mom to their brother to their bestie to the person they're walking by on the street, about you and about your business. So I'm going to go through this a little bit, and then I'll give you some examples of like a more detailed process from here. But this is super simplified. Okay. So let's say they are a stranger. They've never heard of you before. The first kind of stage that we're trying to get them into is into your audience category. So we go from stranger to audience, meaning in the audience, they've shown interest maybe in what you have to say. Maybe they have followed you on Instagram. Maybe they've subscribed to your email newsletter list. Maybe they've just landed on your website and they're reading your blog. Maybe they're attending a webinar today, and turning them in from that stranger to the audience and getting over that hump is where I see a lot of entrepreneurs are like, oh, Priscilla, I don't even know how to get into this first phase. And maybe this might be part of that lead capture that you're really struggling with. That might be part of your kink in the hose that you need to kind of zoom into and really focus on. Okay, so maybe you can think of all of the different ways that you can attract more people into your audience. And then really making sure that that whole process is locked in, feels super solid, and then at some point is automated, right? So we want to go from you figuring out what the system is and then figuring out how you can automate that. There's always ways to automate. I think automate is such a sexy little word. Okay. So now let's say that they are in your audience now, and now we want to convert them, right? We don't want just people in our audience just to like be there and hang out. Obviously, we want to turn them into leads. We want to turn them into really somebody that's potentially going to spend money with us, right? So we want to turn them in from showing interest in what we have to say into interested in the offer that we have. So this is having really clear call to actions. Maybe it's a form on your website or in your link in bio that you need to make sure is optimized. Maybe you don't even have one, and there's no way for people to even convert for you. Maybe you need some landing pages that really can sell things for you to capture a lead. Maybe you need to offer freebies in order to have somebody interested here at the beginning. Okay, so we're converting them. Just because we've converted them to being interested doesn't mean they've actually swiped their credit card, or doesn't mean that they've actually made a purchase, right? Maybe they've gotten a consultation with you, maybe something like that, but they haven't purchased yet. And maybe this is the thing that you're really struggling with right now. You're getting so many leads, you see so many people are interested, and you're having a lot of consultations right now, but like they are just not converting. They're not like closing out and turning into actual dollars in the bank account, right? Really identify that here and say, that is where I'm struggling. How can I make that better? How can I perfect it? How can I really focus in here to make this whole process better? And then how can I make it automated? Okay. So this might be your email follow-ups. This might be your whole sales call process. Maybe that's not really optimized. Maybe it's not actually converting. Maybe you need to take some classes, get some information, hire somebody that can close that for you. Maybe once you have the lead, you're so busy you don't even have time to send that like proposal over to them to close it. Maybe the whole like system is kind of broken of collecting enough information from them in order to turn them into an actual client. You have to identify what that is for your business that's maybe lacking. Okay. Okay. Yay, we have a client. This is so exciting. We're at this stage and we have them in. They have put the credit card down. They have bought the thing. They are now in. Okay. The process is not over because we want to turn them into a champion. We want to turn them into a raving fan that either rebooks with you, stays on retainer with you, tells everybody about you. So then all of a sudden you're putting all of these champions into the world that are helping you grow and making this whole process a whole lot easier, because guess what? It's not just you anymore. Okay. So this final process is really important. If you find that you're getting clients, but then they're disappearing after the first interaction with you, maybe this is something that you really need to focus in on and optimize, right? So making sure that the whole client relations process is super solid, meaning that from the time that they book with you to the time that you close their project, or it's time to re-sign them again, or time for them to repurchase again, that it is easy and effortless. Some things to think about here are testimonials, or having good project management systems on the back end so nothing falls through the cracks. Having surveys on how you can do better, how can you optimize this process? How can you help them become more of a raving fan? Can you offer a referral program? Can you offer something for them to write a review? There's a lot of different ways that you can help them become a raving fan, but you have to identify how that's going to be for your business. Okay. So if you look at the different kind of phases of this whole system, I'm sure you're all kind of thinking, oh, that, I know that's the part that feels not good. I know that's the part that I for sure need to zoom in here and really look into how I can optimize that particular section of my business. Think of this whole thing here, right? Like as a gardening hose that you're watering all of the flowers that is going to turn into this beautiful garden, right? Successful business, right? Stay with me here. So we have this hose that needs to water the garden. And if one part of it is kind of kinked up, right? It's all knotted up and it's not flowing, then the whole, it's going to not let any water come out to water the garden for your business garden to be successful. So you have to unkink it out so that it runs really smoothly. Now, are there going to be different ways that maybe you can make your hose even better? Can you upgrade the hose? Of course, but let's get it running smoothly first, and then we automate to where then you don't even have to hold the hose anymore. It's just doing its own thing, right? Because that's really where we want to be. I was watching TikTok this morning. I'm not even going to lie. And I like to follow a lot of successful accounts, a lot of motivational accounts and things like that. And there was somebody that came on and they said, you need to ask yourself, could your business run without you? Ugh. I'm like, oh man, I don't know. Could my business run without me? That was a good question to ask myself, right? Thinking of different ways you can automate or build teams or build systems and processes that other people can adopt is a really good way to be thinking. And then the second question that they ask, and this one will really put one in you, can your business grow without you? Woof. Oh my gosh, I don't know, right? So really building in systems that help your business run on its own and help it grow on its own. Otherwise, you've just built yourself a job, is what he said. I'm like, oh man, that's deep. Okay. So really being able to look at this whole process as a business owner is the hat that I want you to put on. Okay. Make sense? All righty. We're moving and we're grooving along. So what I'm going to show you next is kind of a sample flow. So that one was very simplified to really help you understand each phase that you should be looking at. This next one is how you can really build it for your business, understanding every point and in your whole process. So step one is going to be to build that process. Let's say you have a lead inquiry come in, okay? What is every single step of that process and the option points of how it goes down? We know it's not necessarily a completely linear path. There's a lot of different ways that things can go. You're like, but Priscilla, what if this happens? But Priscilla, what if this happens? But then if they do that one thing, then this one thing should happen, right? And if you're the only person that knows that, if you're the only person that's in your head, and you're wearing all of those other hats as a business owner, that might be why you feel like you're spinning right now. That might be why you feel like there's a million different things going on and you're just hoping that you remember them all, right? So it's really crucial to build out something like this so you understand every stage of the process. And then after we build this, step 2 is going to be, how can we optimize it? Okay, so I have circled something right here because we have something very similar to this, like in our flow here at Forward Female, right? So once they get to this whole process here, we use HoneyBook. Like I was saying, we love HoneyBook for our whole process and system. And this 3 steps right here, the contract, the payment, the communication, where at one point they were each different stages in our process, right? The client got the contract, they signed the contract, they got the contract back to us, then we sent them the invoice, and then they paid the invoice, they got the invoice back to us, and then, okay, we're ready to get started. Let's get on that first call, right? To where now these 3 steps are in one step that is automated, okay? Meaning that it's 2 clicks for us to send over a proposal versus before it took maybe a week to complete that process, right? So you can start to identify maybe where are some ways in your business that could be optimized, that maybe you're doing manually right now that really aren't supporting you. So now we use HoneyBook and we use a what they call smart files in order to build this whole proposal out. So within this proposal, it's one welcome page that then automates over to the contract. Once they sign the contract, it automates over to the next page, instantaneous, by the way, to their payment, to where they make the payment and they agree right there. The payment is made. As soon as they made the payment, guess what? The next page pops up and it's our scheduling block to schedule your first call to get started, right? So where it took 2 clicks, the client to receive it, review it all in one place. They know exactly what's going to happen. So their process is at ease as well. They have a portal that they can come back and look at their documents and see when their next payment is due, and the link to schedule their call with us is effortless, meaning that the client is excited because at the end of the day, the whole process is effortless for them because we know that they're busy business owners and they don't have the time to be dealing with all of this, right? They just need the help. And we want to make that whole process as easy as possible to get them to a place where we're helping them, right? So that's optimization at the end of the day, okay? All righty. So I want to give you some problem solution scenarios. I want you to think out of the box here. I want you to think of you not having to do everything manually, okay? Because that's how we're going to optimize and that's how we're going to automate our businesses. So some solutions. My problem, Priscilla, I'm manually scheduling all of my calls and meetings. I'm going back and forth. Does Friday at 1 work for you? They don't get back for you for 24 hours. Oh no, sorry, Friday at 2 no longer works for me. And you're going back and forth, right? There's a way to just nip that in the butt right now. And that's going to be HoneyBook has scheduling in it. Calendly is our other favorite one for scheduling. And those would be my 2 highest recommendations. There's a lot of different solutions out there, depending on, what your specific needs are. But I find that these 2 are really, really solid and 2 that I would recommend. My problem, consistent marketing. Not enough time in the day, right? I feel like I can't take an hour, 2 hours out of my day every single day, Priscilla, to send all of these emails as soon as somebody does something, or I need to, get them from a stranger to the audience level. Later is a really awesome tool that we love to use. And this is, it's our favorite social media scheduler. Believe me, we have tried them all. It is our favorite because you are really able to integrate not just Instagram, but all of your different marketing platforms, because you should not just be on Instagram. You have to have a multi-level marketing approach, because if Instagram disappeared tomorrow, if your account got hacked tomorrow, and Instagram is the only way that you're marketing your business, for lack of a better term, you might be screwed. Okay. So being able to use different marketing channels, and later is a way to integrate all of those. And Flowdesk is one that we really love for email marketing specifically. So this is where you can set up different flows within your business, and really optimize and automate that process of giving somebody like a freebie on your website where it automatically sends to them. And then once they're in your audience, they get a whole sequence of maybe an offer, why they should purchase from you, and it all is automated beautifully in that whole process. The other thing I'm thinking, Gab, can you put a link to our member resource, our exclusive resources page that has links to all of these different platforms? Awesome. Okay, Gab will put that over in the portal, because some of them have different like discounts, obviously, because we're within all of them. So we get like discount codes for everybody if you're interested in using any of these. All right, Priscilla, my bookkeeping is a mess. Do not talk to me about finances. This is something that like I wait until right before tax season, and then I like am miserable. I hear that way too many times in a day, in a week. So I would say there is ways to automate your bookkeeping as well, and stay consistent with it and stay up to date. So you aren't spending so much time just trying to run your books, and you're spending your time trying to put more money in your books, right? So QuickBooks is a really great tool that we use for this. Also, QuickBooks has QuickBooks Live, which we use internally. I recommend to a lot of my clients if you're interested and you're at that stage. It's a couple $100 a month, but they do it all for you. If you are not at that stage, there are other QuickBooks experts that can help you automate different charges that get added, and automate different clients that you have, so you can run everything within your bookkeeping in one place. We love QuickBooks, and we utilize it, so it's the one I'm comfortable talking to. There are a lot of different services out there, I will say. You just have to find the one that's right for you and spend the time if that's where a lot of your time is being spent right now. HoneyBook is another one. It can really help you keep all of your clients' payments like situated, can help you set up payment plans, and it integrates with QuickBooks as well. Okay, so you're utilizing it in both places. I'm manually sending out my contracts, my invoices, and follow-ups and leads with clients, and I'm doing all of that manually, Priscilla. Okay, all right, time to optimize. HoneyBook is my absolute favorite. I went through several different platforms, and I promise you, I am like I do not tout a company or do not tout a service unless I am obsessed with it and use it myself. I'm obsessed with HoneyBook. I went through a lot of different CRM, client relation management services, before I got to HoneyBook, and it really is like the best. Their whole team is amazing. They're super communicative and helpful through the whole process, and we love them. And they have a lot of exciting updates for different types of businesses that are coming up this year. So this would be one that I would say to do all of those through, versus a lot of the ones that you see on the market right now, which I've tried and are clunky and too techy and aren't cute. Like, no, thank you. I love HoneyBook for this. All right, Priscilla, I have so many different systems, but none of them are communicating with each other, right? None of them are helping each other. I'm having to add things here and do all of this manually. Zapier, however you say it, is a really great tool that you can help integrate and automate a lot of your systems to work together. It will take a little bit of time to actually like have everything set up properly. I will just warn you there. It is very kind of technical. However, whenever you are able to set it up, it is a game changer. And it can really shave a lot of that time that you're spending doing a lot of that manually, or maybe just not keeping up with because it's not even feasible and possible. This is a really great tool to do that. Andrew, I will get to questions here at the very end, if you don't mind. Perfect. So as we get in here, I just want to let you know that only people who don't fail, don't try. If you don't figure it out the first time, if it feels clunky the first time, spend some more time trying. Fall down, pick yourself up and do it again. That is what the best entrepreneurs do. That is what the most successful entrepreneurs do. So if you just stay there at the starting line and you don't even try to start implementing any of this, don't even try to understand your process, don't even try to update, optimize, and automate, then you're going to stay there while other people are doing it. Okay.